Welcome to the Scottsdale Vibes podcast. I'm Alicia Haygood. One of the biggest events in Scottsdale is coming up. It is a celebrity fight night happening April 27th at the Scottsdale Fairmont Princess, one of my favorite hotels here in the area. I am so excited. I've been here almost 5 years. This will be my first event. It's going to be a blast. Everyone knows about Celebrity Fight Night. From LA to New York to everything in between, and Scottsdale really gets put on the map. But it's not about the celebrities as much as what the purpose behind the message is, and that's really to help those in need when it comes to cancer research, trials, new medication, and new things. Each and every day, each second of every day, someone is diagnosed with cancer. And whether you don't know them personally, it will affect you one day, and I promise you that. Whether it's a family, a friend, or God forbid you, we need to help support, and what we do now will only help the future and hopefully you and your family member or friend, because it will happen eventually. So I'm going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk light and hearted, but we're also going to talk about the purpose behind Celebrity Fight Night. We'll be right back. When it comes to protecting you, your family, and all your assets, you need to have someone that you can trust, and that's Jeremy Mueller of State Farm Insurance. Jeremy Mueller has lived in Scottsdale his whole life. How can anyone else know your needs more than someone who's been here and seen it all? Jeremy and his team are always ranked in the top % at State Farm. He cares, he's knowledgeable, and most importantly, he's always available. Don't believe me? Give him a call at 480-515-5223 or find him at jeremymueller.com. One of the biggest events is right around the corner, bringing some of the largest names in Hollywood and beyond. Celebrity Fight Night has been here over a decade, believe it or not, and it's happening April 27th right here at the Fairmont Princess. As we all know, cancer does affect all of us, and that's why this gala is so important. 100% of the funds raised, 100% of what you donate, what you come, and what you participate in goes directly to cancer research. And I'm so excited to have two of our co-chairs for Celebrity Fight Night here with me. They have Molly Stockley, who is the City of Hope Director of Marketing, and Amy Ross, who owns Seven Valley DryBars. Both women who understand the importance of giving back, because not only do they give their time each and every day, but they give back to this community and here as well as Celebrity Fight Night. So I'm really excited. Ladies, as I said at the beginning, I've never been to Celebrity Fight Night. Everyone knows what it's about. I'm so excited. But I really do want to talk about what is Celebrity Fight Night, because it's in the name, but the purpose and the message and the reason behind it is what's so important, and it's really what brings everyone together. So Amy and Molly, you're both co-chairs. Amy, I'll start with you first. How did you get involved with Celebrity Fight Night in this position?
Well, yeah, thanks for having us today. First of all, we're so excited to be here and talk about this amazing opportunity for the community to really get involved. And, for me personally, as a guest, through work, we've done a lot of charity in the community. And I was approached last year and went to the event, and I really was I was in awe that, to your point, 100% of the proceeds go to the charity.
Which is rare, right?
It's very rare. You go to so many events these days and you're like, well, is my money going to the research and is it going to the charity? But 100% is going. And so that's what really drew me, into really wanting to continue my support and help. So after the event, I was blown away, right? Because it was just so much fun. Last year was like a disco theme. This year's a little different. But, when I was approached and asked to help out this year, I couldn't say no, especially since Molly was going to be on my co-chair. I was like, okay, I'll help. So that's really, it was just, it started as, just doing charity in the community, going to this event and realizing that, wow, all the money being raised in this room today is actually going to help fund trials for cancer research.
It's critical. And Molly, you have the amazing task and job of firsthand what this money really does for patients and families and clients and stuff like that. You are City of Hope Director of Marketing. I want to talk about how you got involved, with the Celebrity Fight Night, and then dig into what City of Hope gains and the value that we bring to you.
Yes, of course. Well, I've actually been in the Valley for 20 years. Do you know when I moved here to work at KTV Channel 3, I knew no one, not a single soul. And I saw Celebrity Fight Night was here. Yeah. And so I volunteered. like for the first 5 years.
So how many years has it been in
30
town?
years.
That's
this is the 30th. This is the Emerald year.
That's amazing.
Yes. And so I started volunteering for fun.
Yeah.
And then started attending. And it just gives me the chills to think about, of course, it's Celebrity Fight Night.
Right.
I mean, I've seen Jennifer Lopez, Michael Bublé, Aerosmith, Muhammad Ali, God rest his soul. But now it's like, now Amy and I are co-chairing the committee. And this is the first year that we put together a committee. It's the 30th year. And, we have 30 committee members. That just kind of happened like that. And so men and women.
Meant to be, right?
It was so meant to be. But it's so neat because on our committee, we have executives, we have CEOs of other cancer organizations who are on our committee. We have a woman who had a double mastectomy while being part of this committee. So, and, single moms to families to, Amy and I have become like sisters based on this because we are working so hard to bring this message across. And the message is all of the money raised is for clinical trials, phase 1 clinical trials. And what that means is you need to have those clinical trials going in order to have a phase 1, a phase 2, a phase 3, and then go into drug production. And that's where it all begins. I mean, we get to hear the amazing stories of Maddie, who was in college. Oh my gosh, I'm going to start to cry here.
His story, it makes me cry every time.
Oh my goodness. Maddie had cancer. Okay. And she was not supposed to live. But because of the clinical trials funded by Gateway for Cancer Research, Maddie is now an RN.
Stop it.
So I can just picture her in my head.
I know. I literally, every time I get chills up and down both my arms because the fact that she was drawn to the medical profession because of trials that are out there that were able to be funded. I mean, it changed her life. It changed her parents' life. Yeah. It changed her entire family's life and hopefully her future family.
Absolutely. Yes. My father-in-law was, he lost his battle with cancer, but he lived 17 and a half years with pancreatic cancer.
Oh, boy.
Which is unheard of. And it's because of all the clinical trials that he got to be a part of that prolonged his life. So he was diagnosed when my husband was 10 and lived 17 and a half years. So I got to meet him a couple times, before his passing and stuff. But we need it. I mean, it's inevitable that you will be affected by this somehow, some way. We don't understand it until it's too late. You don't feel it until it, affects you. That's how we work mentally in society. And I get that. But those clinical trials need to start now because it's decades in the work to get to even the FDA approval or to do that. And we need patients to be able to try it to see how it works because you can only do so much in a petri dish, kind of thing.
Exactly. These are people. These are your neighbors. These are your sisters, your moms. I'm thinking about 2 of our volunteers who are so excited to be part of this committee, and one with her cute little haircut because her hair's finally growing back. Yeah. I mean, it just makes my heart so warm that not only can we, and Amy and I, along with Mr. Richard Stevenson and his wife, Stacy, put on this amazing event with all of these people around, the president and CEO of Gateway for Cancer Research, Natalie Stewart, and her whole team. I mean, it takes a village to put this together. So not only are we going to have an incredible night and share it with all of our Arizonans and all of our Valley members, but also you are going to get to meet people that you are helping to bring on with their journey and for survivorship.
So put some Kleenexes in the purse.
Yes,
you have to.
Yes.
What is the mascara? So
the waterproof.
Drip.
Yes. I know it's a little hard to get off, but it's worth it.
It's going to come off otherwise.
Yeah.
Good to know. 30 years, Emerald Celebration. I was totally not aware of that until you just mentioned that. Amy, what is some of the stuff that you and the committee have been working on this year? Because we're only like a week out before this happens.
I mean, we literally are, this 2 weeks, right?
It's crazy.
It's wild how it has just jumped up on us. I'm like, wow, are we really already almost in May? But the committee, what we were really excited to do with this committee is really be able to showcase, some of the ways we can raise more funds for the charity, right? So through silent auction items, there's going to be some really great silent auction items, some things that are added into like these live auction items are things that you're like, whoa, okay. Is it? Yeah, okay, it's for a good cause.
I know, right?
So really trying to generate ways that we can, have people help by, donating. Let's bid on some silent auction. Let's a live auction, and really try to raise more money for the charity versus just, typical someone's going to buy a table. Of course, that's what the committee is doing as well. But what are some fun ways, right? And what are some things we've all gone to charity events in town and you're like, okay, there's the autographed jersey, right?
Yeah.
Trust me, I've bought a few. You just saw my teenager, right? He may have a few of those in his room. But, what are some different items that we haven't seen at a charity event and the committee is trying to bring forward and I think this could actually really raise some great money to help fund some of these trials.
Those unique, one-of-a-kind things. Yeah.
And one of the things we wanted to focus on, Amy and I thought about what were our goals. Yeah. Okay, our goals were, yes, it's been here for 30 years. Mm-hmm. So what about all those attendees and all of those sponsors who have been a part of it this whole time? Let's bring them back in, and talk about who's going to be here and what the benefit is. And that's Gateway for Cancer Research, but also new people. How many new people are moving to Scottsdale daily?
Oh my gosh.
Right to the Valley. And so that's when, we've heard from people, I've never even heard of Celebrity Fight Night. I haven't heard of Gateway, but you know what? I have a cancer story. And so we've been able to bring them in. And that's what we're most excited about. We are going to have a room. The room is only fit for 600 and we are capping it and we are almost there. So if you don't have a table bought, you better get it. You've got less than 2 days because we're almost there. Mm-hmm.
So it's this, it's the best of the best for the best, right?
Correct.
And getting those big ballers in there and stuff like that for a great evening of fun and fashion.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Well, and I think that, to Molly's point, there are so many people that for years of I never made it. I wanted to go. And even this morning before I came here, I was texting with somebody. She's like, well, I want to go. And I said, okay, well, you got to be in. And she's like, oh, that's my son's graduation party. I'm like, well, you're off the hook for this year, but not next year.
Next year, yes.
But yeah, I do think that we're definitely getting some people that haven't been, which is going to be really exciting.
Yeah. Listen, I have some advertisers that I work with the Scottsdale City Lifestyle magazine. He's born and raised here, a local guy, and he can't make it this year, and he's so sad. He's like, Alicia, this is the event of the year. I've wanted to go my whole life. And he is out of town with his wife and stuff like that. But same thing. I told him, I was like, now you know. You got to save the date for next year.
Yes.
It is the place to be seen and to want to go. And one of the biggest fundraiser galas in the city for us.
Yes. Well, and even on the front of not just city, but national.
Yeah.
So we have Entertainment News who's going to be on the red carpet. We have celebrities, Major League Baseball players, Hall of Famers. It's also the NFL draft this weekend. You know how many players have reached out and said, seriously, that's the same weekend as the draft, and I can't be at your event. We'll go ahead and take that.
It says something. And Joey Fatone is the MC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Michael Bublé, David Foster.
I know, Catherine McPhee, right? Singing.
Gosh.
The list goes on and on.
Yes.
The entertainment is top notch. And it's, so fun. And when you're in a room with only 600 people and suddenly you've got, Joey Fatone and David Foster and Michael Bublé is going to be right there in front of you. And what's so great is last year, Joey Fatone was like, oh yeah, sure, Amy, comes up, puts his arm around you, takes pictures. They are just so engaging.
You're I don't know if I'm at your level or if you're coming down to my level, right?
I was like, okay. I remember when you were, in the boy band, with those other
going
guys.
to see your concerts. Yeah,
right.
I'm with them.
So, but it's just so nice because the celebrities are so warm and they're there because they also want to give back to the charity, right? In any way that they can. So it's not a situation where no selfies, it's the absolute 180 of that. They know that they are there to help and to be a part of the crowd, and they want to have fun with all of us and really support the cause.
I love that. Red carpet starts with a red carpet.
Yeah.
It is top notch. I've worked the Oscars before. I've been in that kind of environment. It is so fun and vibrant. And for you to have that right here, go experience it. You won't regret it. And you only have a few spots left.
Yes.
Right. Well, I think it's also exciting. The event, it's at the Scottsdale Fairmont Princess, like you said. So it's a new venue this year also, which always, I think, does invigorate the crowd. And it's just, I'll be honest, there's not a lot of events that have happened there lately. So I think people are also excited to see like, oh, how is this ballroom going to be set up? Because at the end of the day, look, all of us girls are like, oh, what are the flowers going to look like? Like there are some things where you're like, oh my God, where's the photo op?
Yeah.
And I just think it's going to be spectacular.
Well, it kind of ties into everything you ladies have been saying. It's the 30th year celebration for the Emerald, new venue, new people being invited, all the new community members and people that are calling Scottsdale home now. A new start for these cancer patients to get the help and the trials that they need. That newness, that now's the day, seize the day, you know, is kind of what I'm feeling from y'all, everything we're talking about.
Well, and as residents and as, Valley citizens, we can help.
Yeah.
We can be a part of that. We can be a part of an organization and a committee that is literally curing cancer. I mean,
Isn't that
who
crazy?
gets to say that?
No.
And all of the hospital systems at Gateway for Cancer Research helps. I mean, I work at City of Hope. They help City of Hope, MD Anderson, Sloan Kettering, Banner, PCH. I mean, it's an array, and that's what we wanted to be a part of. How can we help our fellow Arizonans?
Yeah. And that's the thing that people may not understand too, is there's lots of different hospitals that are specialties in what they do, right? And that's great because you can focus on one thing. To be able to divide that money up amongst everybody that needs it, and it's not just going towards one thing. Cancer is huge. It's a massive umbrella that affects us in so many different ways, in so many different forms. To be able to support all of those in some way, I think speaks volumes to what this charity means to us in the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I assume, have you gotten your dress yet?
Maybe.
Okay, I have not.
Right? Okay, so
I'm still shopping.
Maybe we need to shop after
I
this.
actually put a dress on over the weekend. I'm like, is this going to be it? And then I actually have a dress that I love that I wore like 4 years ago. But I'm ratting myself out right now if I wear it because I've worn it once before. Well, now they are.
Yeah. Okay.
But
if you
I
wear
might repeat a dress. But if not, I don't know. Maybe we'll head to Nordstrom's.
I know.
Here.
Yes, but make sure you have comfortable shoes.
Right.
Because you are going to be dancing.
So excited.
Yes.
What's the biggest thing that you want the community to know about this, and how can we continue not only to support this year, but to continue to grow, because that's where this is going to benefit us in the long term, just like these cancer research studies and stuff like that, the trials.
Well, I'll start because I work at a cancer hospital and I have been in this industry for almost 20 years. My big message is education is the first thing, especially if you're 40 and over as a woman, get your mammogram, your colonoscopy, men as well. My big thing is preventative. And so I'm hoping that during all of this great celebration, we're talking about prevention and education. And God forbid if cancer ever affects your family, know that you have a resource through Gateway for Cancer Research that can help you and help you, decide where to go or help you navigate those things.
Yeah.
Know that there's a research or a resource piece. But then also know that, you have a community of all of us, and even like you said, if you couldn't attend Celebrity Fight Night this year, come next year, because next year will be the 31st year. And they'll be doing a lot of different events around the Valley. And again, we're volunteers, but if you see us in the community, let us know what you need, and we're your people.
Molly always picks up her phone, by the way.
Yes, she does. She does. She's great.
So good at that.
She is.
She really. And that was the thing. I didn't even realize you were volunteering for this. And I've called you at least half a dozen times. And I was just like, this is just my volunteer position. I was like, what? This is like a full-time job for you two ladies.
That's why we're like BFFs now.
But, like you mentioned in the very beginning, cancer affects pretty much everybody, unfortunately, right? I know that it's affected, me personally, with, close family members. So, it's a worthwhile cause that we are happy to, volunteer our time, because it's something that does unfortunately hit probably almost every American in some way. And, these funds for these trials is what is going to help hopefully cure cancer one day.
Yeah.
And see, I'm going to tear up talking about it.
I know.
But like that, I think that is the message, is that we are literally giving every penny to the charity for these trials. And at the end of the day, like, nobody wants to be scared of a cancer diagnosis, and everybody is. So if we can get to the point where you're like, okay, I have this, but this is the treatment, and this, I can beat this, then okay, it's like, I got strep throat, and like I'm going to take an antibiotic and I'm going to be good. Wouldn't it be amazing if one day we can get to that point with cancer, that if you are diagnosed, and to Molly's point, if we can create enough education so we don't even get to that diagnosis, would be phenomenal as well.
And I love that too, because it's one day at a time and one step at a time, but it can be done if we talk about it more, and we communicate more about it. And I love the people that are being diagnosed and coming out and talking about their journey and what they're doing, because it's only helping us learn, and the doctors learn more as well about what's working and what's not. Communication's key in everything that we do in life. And for you to share your stories, I mean, how about Princess Catherine, Right. We had the CNN anchors who's going through her breast cancer diagnosis, and she's being very open. So I think the more that we see these celebrities or the royalty come out and talk about it, and realize we're all the same. At the end of the day, you are just human, and the diseases did not choose you based off of who you are. It's just, it is what it is, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Before we leave and get all teary-eyed, go wipe your tears away. I know. Favorite Scottsdale vibe. What's your favorite Scottsdale vibe, Molly?
Oh my goodness. Well, my husband is a 4th generation Arizonan from Scottsdale.
Okay, you're like the 5th person I've met.
Yes.
This is rare.
And so, his mom grew up here. His grandma grew up here. His, great-grandma grew up in a town that doesn't even exist anymore in Arizona. But shout out to Swirl High.
I went to Chaparral, Molly.
Yeah, that's my husband. I'm from Louisiana.
Calm down, ladies. We're here for a good cause. Calm down.
But I think my favorite vibe is my husband, who's from here, who speaks so highly of Scottsdale and tells us the history. Our boys were born here at Scottsdale Shea.
Yeah.
My husband said, making sure both of our boys, Jackson and Jake, were born there, but know the history of Scottsdale, but then also know where Scottsdale's going, because it's turning into a biomedical, mecca. And we get to be a part of that.
I love that. Amy, what about you? What's your favorite Scottsdale vibe?
Gosh, my favorite.
Besides the rivalry, calm down, ladies.
right?
I know, rival high schools, her husband and I. You know what? I think my favorite Scottsdale vibe literally is, I feel that we get to live in a place where people come to vacation all the time, right? And so, and we're also fortunate that come July, when they're all gone, we're like, I think I'm going to drive to Flagstaff, or I'm going to hop on a plane and go to San Diego in 45 minutes. I just love that we are living in such a resort lifestyle, and that there's so many people that are like, wow, you get to live in Scottsdale when it's like
great.
Snowing. And I had moved away for a while and said I would never move back because it's too hot. Famous last words, never say never. But it is true, and it's, having raised our son here, he just turned 18. It's been a really great community to raise a family in.
That's
so I
true.
think, I love Scottsdale.
I love that. I love that you went away and you still came back, right?
Did.
I know. Listen, this is the longest I've ever lived anywhere. It'll be 5 years this summer.
Yeah.
This is it. Like, we love it here. Our kids are so incredibly happy. And it's weird to think for us that was moving every couple of years for like 10 years, like, this is it. And we're like, yeah. My mom says it all the time. They'll come and visit. Why would you move? You live in a vacation destination.
Right.
And isn't it great for curly hair?
It is great.
Thank you.
Right.
That's
There's
what I
no
said.
humidity.
Right. And see, I'm from the South. So
I'm from Louisiana.
Yeah. So I have born in Georgia, went to school in Mississippi, lots of Louisiana. Yeah. No, there's the
This is
stickiness.
home.
Yeah. Well, and if you just look at how Scottsdale's growing, I think everybody's onto our secret.
Yeah.
I know. It's fine and not fine. I like
Right.
it, but I like.
I know. I get a little irritated when I walk in a restaurant and they're like, "What do you mean you don't have a reservation?" I'm like,
I live here.
I live here.
I know.
I just want a hamburger.
All right, go check it out. Celebrity Fight Night is happening April 27th at the Fairmont Princess. There is still time to get it. I have everything in the description of this episode, as well as our YouTube channel. Ladies, volunteering is everything to me. It's giving back to the community. You really are stepping it up this year. Thank you for what you did. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Early in advance for all the work you've put in. It will not be unnoticed, and you will see with everyone's smiles and dancing shoes, me out there included. I'm so excited. Now I definitely need another pair of shoes, though.
Exactly.
Because I'm going to be dancing all night. And then also go to DryBars. Go get your hair done for the
There you
event
go.
as well.
There you go.
know? All right, we'll be back with some calendar events, but really just go buy your tickets for Celebrity Fight Night. There's nothing else going on. We'll be right back. Buying a home can be scary and sometimes frustrating, but all of that can go away with the right realtor. And that's where Sean Shackleton with the Shackleton Group is here for you. Sean has over 25 years experience in real estate. She's here to get you what you want and won't settle for less. She's experienced, knowledgeable, and understands this market, which these days is always changing. Take the stress out of your next home purchase by calling Sean at 480-734-7277. You can also find her at theshackletongroup.com. All right, go buy your tickets. Celebrity Fight Night's coming up. 100%, guys. 100% of everything from ticket purchase to all your silent auctions to the live auction goes towards cancer research. I cannot think of another foundation, fundraiser, or gala here in town that really does that. So what an amazing group. What an amazing event. 30 years. There's definitely going to be some sights to be seen, so come out and enjoy it. There's also another festival that's coming up is the Scottsdale Jazz Festival. Come on, go get your jazz on. We're going to be lucky enough to have Mr. Duck William Jones on next week talking about that. And then don't forget that this week, this Saturday, is the Jet Center Foundation, another amazing foundation and fundraiser to help support medical air flights for people that are sick and need to go get flights in other areas, as we heard last week. So go check that out. And it's another great one here at the Scottsdale Airport. And who doesn't love to go there and see the planes land, and you get up close and personal with some aircrafts as well as luxury cars. Again, every link to each one of these events is in the description of this episode, as well as on our YouTube channel, or just go look them up. You can find it, or you can reach out to me and I will help you. Don't forget to subscribe to us on your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on YouTube and social media on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and everywhere else you want to find me, as well as all over Scottsdale. Have a great week, Scottsdale. Keep vibing, and I'll see you around town.